The rhythm takes us higher, a sacred fire in our core. We rise above the shadows, reaching for something more. This is our silent ignition, the truth we've always known. A primal pulse awakening, a seed that has been sown. Our hearts beat as one rhythm, where every soul can soar. We break the ancient silence, unlocking every door. This is our deep connection, on this vibrant pulsing floor. We find our liberation, forever wanting more. A stillness deep within me, where the echoes used to fade. My fingertips now hum with warmth, a sacred pact is made. The drumming starts to ripple, breaking through the quiet calm. This whispered truth now thunders, a powerful guiding psalm. A gentle current stirs inside, awakening my sleeping mind. My breath dissolves into the air, embracing pure unburdened light. The inner voice now calls aloud, dispelling every lingering doubt. My spirit starts to shimmer bright, letting all past burdens out. From lonely depths I surface, where old fears used to reside. Now freedom's breath begins to flow, nowhere left to hide. A shift inside my being, a vibrant current pulling strong. This quiet revolution where I truly belong. The rhythm takes us higher, a sacred fire in our core. We rise above the shadows, reaching for something more. This is our silent ignition, the truth we've always known. A primal pulse awakening, a seed that has been sown. Our hearts beat as one rhythm, where every soul can soar. We break the ancient silence, unlocking every door. This is our deep connection, on this vibrant pulsing floor. We find our liberation, forever wanting more. The isolated moments once felt like a hollow endless space, but now a vibrant current flows, transforming every trace. My spirit starts to glimmer, a gentle glow from deep within. This energy now building, where true freedom can begin, no longer bound by fears. My pulse quickens with the beat, a raw and potent feeling, making my entire being complete. The world outside may clamor, but my core remains serene. This inner voice resounding, a powerful and vibrant scene. The rhythm takes us higher, the rhythm takes us higher. The sacred fire in our core, the sacred fire. We rise above the shadows, reaching for something more, reaching for something more. This is our silent ignition, the truth we've always known. A primal pulse awakening, a seed that has been sown. Our hearts beat as one rhythm, one rhythm, where every soul can soar. We break the ancient silence, we break the ancient silence, unlocking every door. Oh, this is our deep connection, on this vibrant pulsing floor. We find our liberation, forever wanting more. This subtle hum of ages vibrates to the very ground, a sacred space unfolding, where deepest peace can now be found. My heart beats with the universe, a rhythm strong and ever deep. Secrets of my soul's first song, the promises I joyfully keep. This quiet strength, now blooming, a timeless, boundless grace. Feeling every single movement within this hallowed space. The rhythm takes us higher, the rhythm takes us higher. A sacred fire in our core, a sacred fire. We rise above the shadows, reaching for something more. Oh, this is our silent ignition. The truth we've always known. A primal pulse awakening, a seed that has been sown. Oh, our hearts beat as one rhythm, where every soul can soar. We break the ancient silence, unlocking every door. This is our deep connection on this vibrant pulsing floor. We find our liberation, forever wanting more. The whisper turns to wildfire, burning brighter every beat. Our silent ignition rising, now eternally complete. This is our soul's first song, forever echoing for all the world to free. A powerful awakening for all the world to see. The truth within us blossoms for eternity. We are the pulse, the rhythm, the pure ecstasy.
Here we stand as noisy echoes fall silent now. In sacred ground we find pattern dissolution today. Every pulse in our chest beats with primal rhythm. Mind unbound at last, we step into rising light. Watch us shed heavy weight into deep release. Blood runs hot in our veins as shadows fade. Together we belong in motion of hearts as one. Feel our soul awaken as silence and sound collide. Caged in the wheel of thoughts, choking my heart. Silent noise scream to darkness, tore skin apart. Suddenly thunder strikes ribs, waking fire deep inside. Hot adrenaline explodes in drops of pulsing blood. Every calculation melts into dirt beneath my feet. I feel baseline vibrating to my pounding chest. Core paralysis crumbles into cloud of golden dust. Now lungs expand with burning air, cleansing my soul from quiet desperation of mind. Trapped in fear, too violent eruption of freedom, ringing clear. Now every muscle surrenders to energy rising fast. Now quiet night transforms into ocean of pure truth. Here we stand as noisy echoes fall silent now. In sacred ground we find pattern dissolution today. Every pulse in our chest beats with primal rhythm. Mind unbound at last, we step into rising light. Watch us shed heavy weight into deep release. Blood runs hot in our veins as shadows fade. Together we belong in motion of hearts as one. Feel our soul awaken as silence and sound collide. Solitude froze thoughts in prison of empty words. Connection burns across floor like fire in night. Heavy rhythm strikes my stomach like thunder wall. Mind unbound from old habit, keeping spirit bound. Sweat drips down, hot skin as chatter vanishes. Raw conviction surges upward from cold, shaking spine. Broken bound, I watch sorrow break. Here we stand as noisy echoes fall silent now. On sacred ground we find pattern dissolution today. Every pulse in our chest beats with primal rhythm. Mind unbound at last, we step into rising light. Watch us shed heavy weight into deep release. Blood runs hot in our veins as shadows fade. Together we belong in motion of hearts as one. Feel our soul awaken in silence and sound collide. Leaving behind chatter spinning inside my heavy head. Silence explodes into percussion, filling my whole soul. Despair turns to liberation as blood boils hot. Every knot inside stomach unlocks, letting power surge. We step from isolated darkness into collective pulse. Primal rhythm takes control, setting mind unbound now. Here we stand as noisy echoes fall silent now. In sacred ground we find pattern dissolution today. Every pulse in our chest beats with primal rhythm. Mind unbound at last, we step into rising light. Watch us shed heavy weight into deep release. Blood runs hot in our veins as shadows fade. Together we belong in motion of hearts as one. Feel our soul awaken as silence and sound collide. No more static in mind, only pounding of hearts. We dissolve into infinite groove, leaving heavy shadows behind. Feel warm spread through chords, rhythm carries us home. Mind unbound, pattern dissolution, living in timeless primal rhythm. Our breath becomes wind, sweeping across open dark ocean. Floating freely in acoustic space as peace and power connect.
The city's hum still vibrates deep within my bones. Echoes of the day still pulse beneath the concrete stones. My mind races fast, a relentless turning wheel, searching for the stillness, a silent truth to feel. A raw tension grips my shoulders, a knot I can't undo. Wishing for a quiet refuge, a clear and open view. The outside world demands its urgency, a heavy weight, but my spirit longs for more before it's far too late. A subtle hum begins to rise, a frequency unknown, a whisper from inside that I've always deeply known. The surface starts to ripple, a gentle shifting tide, calling me to step within, nowhere left to hide. In quieter spaces, the spirit finds its grace. In the knowing guides me to this sacred, tranquil place. Peace behind the skin now blooms, a vibrant, gentle fire. My pulse beats slow and steady, reaching ever higher. Deep serenity envelops as the outer world recedes. This quiet strength within me, planting healing seeds. I breathe the truth of silence, a soft and timeless hum, into my inner sanctuary. I finally become. The sharp edges of despair begin to gently blur. A warmth spreads through my chest, a soft inviting purr from isolated shadows. presence finally truly found in quieter spaces. The spirit finds its grace. Inner knowing guides me to the sacred, tranquil place. Peace behind the skin now blooms, a vibrant, gentle fire. My pulse beats slow and steady, reaching ever higher. Deep serenity envelops as the outer world recedes. This quiet strength within me, planting healing seeds. I breathe the truth of silence, a soft and timeless hope, into my inner sanctuary. I finally become. Time itself begins to soften, its rigid grip unwound. Every scattered thought dissolves with not a single sound, just the steady rhythmic motion of my very own heartbeat. Profound connection forming, exquisitely complete. No past, no future striving, just this moment, pure and free. An endless wave of wisdom washing over me. Through daily chaos, my intuition whispers clear and resonant, calling me home. I feel the ancient rhythm pulsing deep within my core, no longer left to roam. This profound inner knowing guides each delicate step away from the city's loud despair. A profound sense of peaceful belonging, floating weightlessly within the quiet air. The frantic urgency fades completely, revealing a gentle, unburdened, truthful way. My soul awakens fully, embracing the profound light of this brand new sacred day. Unearthing hidden solace, a timeless haven deep within, where all my senses bloom. Beyond the fleeting shadows, transcending every last vestige of doubt and lingering gloom. In quieter spaces, the spirit finds its deepest grace. Inner knowing guides me to the sacred, tranquil place. Peace behind the skin now blooms, a vibrant, gentle fire. My pulse beats slow and steady, rising ever higher. Deep serenity envelops as the outer world truly receives. This quiet strength within me, planting powerful healing seeds. I breathe the truth in silence, a soft and timeless sacred hum, into my inner sanctuary. I finally truly become. The echo softens, the vibrations gently fade away, leaving only whispers of a peaceful brand new day. A quiet knowing settles deep within my soul's core, forever guided inward, seeking evermore. This calm pervades my being, a lasting tranquil heart, a gentle pulsing rhythm within my beating heart.
Whispers of what I carry close, burdens heavy deep inside my soul. Echoes of old agreements bind, shadows clinging to my weary mind. A heavy breath, a silent plea for something pure to set me free. The ground beneath me starts to hum, a sacred calling yet to come. A pulse begins to stir within my core, longing to rise and truly soar. From silent wave to rising sound, as ancient energy spin around. No turning back, the path is clear, shedding every doubt and fear. My spirit stirs a dormant flame, ready to relinquish every name. The rhythm deepens, starts to swell, a story only my body can tell. Fingertips are tingling bright, bathed in this unfamiliar light. My heart expands, a vivid beat, ready for this cleansing sweet. A current pulls me to the floor, asking me to ask for more. This sacred flow, the wash is clean, washing away the names I've been. The past release, the whisper soft, carried on this rhythm aloft. My very breath dissolves the old, the story waiting to unfold. No longer bound by what was known, a seed of freedom newly sown. Through pulsing sound, my spirit takes flight, emerging into pure daylight. The weight is gone, dissolved by grace, leaving just an open space. Each beat a wave, washing anew, revealing all that's strong and true. From silent depths to vibrant roar, I am reborn forevermore. A shiver runs along my spine as ancient wisdom starts to entwine. My vision clears, the fog dispels, breaking old and whispered spells. The heat ascends from deep inside, where hidden sorrows used to hide. This cleansing fire, pure and strong, burning through what felt so wrong. My arms extend, embracing air, releasing every trace of care. Each muscle yields, each tension breaks, for liberation's boundless stakes. From rigid form to fluid grace, finding comfort in the sacred space. The universe holds me in its vast design. A timeless past is truly mine. This sacred flow washes clean, washing away the names I've been. The past released, a whisper soft, carried on this rhythm aloft. My very breath dissolves the old, a story waiting to unfold. No longer bound by what was known, a seed of freedom newly sown. Through pulsing sound, my spirit takes flight, emerging into pure daylight. The weight is gone, dissolved by grace, leaving just an open space. Each beat a wave, washing anew, revealing all that's strong and true. From silent depths to vibrant roar, I am reborn forevermore. This primal beat, a constant guide, road anxiety softly subside. The drums ignite a fervent flame, calling me by my true name. Connected deep to earth and sky, as ancestral spirits gather nigh. A force unseen, it pulls me near, banishing all lingering fear. My essence melts, then realigns within these mystical designs. Every cell sings, vibrant and free, utterly transformed eternally. Sacred flow washes clean, washing away the names I've been. Past released, a whisper soft, carried on this rhythm aloft. My very breath dissolves the old, a story waiting to unfold. No longer bound by what was known, a seed of freedom newly sown. Through pulsing sound, my spirit takes flight, emerging into pure daylight. The weight is gone, dissolved by grace, leaving just an open space. Each beat away, washing anew, revealing all that's strong and true. From silent depths to vibrant roar, I am reborn forevermore. The rhythm gently starts to wane, leaving solace, washing away the pain. A quiet hum, a lasting peace, a beautiful eternal release. Stillness comes, the spirit stays, vibing through the coming days. The sacred passage deeply felt, where every old defense is melted. I carry this essence, pure and bright, stepping into endless light, washing away, forever free, in this rhythmic ecstasy.
In the heavy silence of the breath restless night. My fingertips grow hard against the cold. A sudden storm shatters the quiet height. Ancient stories of the dark and bold. My chest vibrates with an unspoken song. The shadows part before the rising tide. Where the pulse of earth and fire belong, we break the walls we built to hide. The ground beneath me trembles with a spark. My breath dissolves into the heavy rain. We find the truth buried in the dark and wash away the weight of ancient pain. The mountains hum a language older than time. My heartbeat enters in the wild and primal rhyme. We shed the weight of every silent year and step into the storm without a trace of fear. Rise through the rain and touch the open sky. The heartbeat of the earth begins to sound. Hear the ancient stories rushing by. We're lost and hungry spirits now are found. Breathe in the wind that shakes the sleeping ground. Our naked souls awake to burning light. Let the fierce and heavy drums resound. We own the power of the endless night. In the deafening roar of falling rain, my pulse races against the heavy drums. We strip away the armor and the chain until the quiet revelation comes. The soil is damp beneath my barest feet. A sudden tremor shakes the mountainside. Two opposite forces in the center meet, with nowhere left to run and nowhere left to hide. Rise through the rain and touch the open sky. The heartbeat of the earth begins to sound. Hear the ancient stories rushing by. We're lost and hungry spirits now found. Breathe in the wind that shakes the sleeping ground. Our naked souls awake to burning light. Let the fierce and heavy drums resound. We own the power of the endless night. The air grows thick with electricity and dust. My veins are pulsing with the rising tide. We turn the quiet fear to molten trust and push the heavy boundaries aside. The chest expands to catch the falling sky. We lift our voices as the shadows die. Standing alone within the fierce and overwhelming rush of the midnight storm. My fingers burn against the chill, while underneath my feet the soil is warm. The distant thunder echoes through the chambers of my straining chest. And every ancient story wakes from its long and quiet winter rest. I feel the heavy water falling down upon my naked trembling skin, while deep beneath the surface a new and powerful rhythm starts to spin. There is no separation now between the storm outside and fire within, as every single breath I take is where the endless world can truly begin. Rise through the rain and touch the open sky. The heartbeat of the earth begins to sound. Hear the ancient stories rushing by. We're lost and hungry spirits now are found. Breathe in the wind that shakes the sleeping ground. Our naked souls awake to burning light. Let the fierce and heavy drums resound. We own the power of the endless night. The heavy rain slowly turns to mist. My skin is glowing in the damp
The echoes of deep silence press against my skin, a heavy, familiar shroud. Within the ruins of light, I feel old shadows gather and silently crowd. A profound tremor awakens, a quiet pulse now stirring beneath my very chest. My fingers tingle with warmth, putting dormant, forgotten feelings to the ultimate test. The air thickens around me, a powerful presence I can clearly discern. Ancient memories like dust motes swirl, old lessons I am ready to unlearn. A quiet fire ignites within the silent, unbreakable promise to the fading night. I stand on the precipice now, stepping bravely into my own burning light. This ancient yearning whispers low, a profound desire to truly break free from the solitary confines, reaching outward for what's truly meant to be. A shift in the air, a breath deeper than before, I gently fully inhale. No longer bound by fear or doubt, ready for this powerful cleansing gale. My inner flame now rages, burning to be free from all the past. The ruins of light crumble, old shadows can no longer truly last. With every beat a story told in ashes, a fresh truth speaks, this liberating fire. A future my rising spirit seeks, old walls dissolve in heat, a primal rhythm fills this space. I breathe out all the lingering ghosts, embracing this sacred burning grace. My breath now melts into the air, a silent, deep release. From this cleansing inferno, I finally find my genuine inner peace. A landscape of quiet isolation once defined my every solitary stride, but a magnetic pull now guides me, nowhere left for my spirit to quietly hide. The ache of old despair sees a vibrant warmth spreads through my very core. I feel the thrum of true connection knocking gently at an open, welcoming door. No longer adrift in the silent current, my being now finds its way gracefully whole. The heavy weight that once pressed upon me dissolves completely like ocean foam. My consciousness expands, reaching far beyond its former restricted edge. This vibrant awakening, a powerful, unwavering, sacred pledge. My inner flame now rages, burning to be free from all the past. The ruins of light crumble, old shadows can no longer truly last. With every beat a story told in ashes, a fresh truth speaks, this liberating fight. A future my rising spirit seeks, old walls dissolve in heat, a primal rhythm fills this space. I breathe out all the lingering ghosts, embracing this sacred burning grace. My breath now melts into the air, a silent, deep release. From this cleansing inferno, I finally find my genuine inner peace. The quiet roar within expands, a powerful testament to what has been profoundly undone. From the crucible of past darkness, a brilliant new era has just gracefully begun. Every fiber of my being resonates deeply with this profound guiding inner heat. The past is not forgotten but consumed completely, rendered utterly whole and sweet. A transformation unfolds, this cleansing inferno, I finally find my genuine inner peace. The embers glow softly now, reflecting the sacred passage I have truly made. A quiet strength now resides within, an eternal flame that will not gently fade. The heavy shadows are fully lifted, the profound burden now completely released. Only echoes of renewal remain, a peaceful, sacred, internal feast. The rhythm gently settles, finding its profound, tranquil, destined end. In this boundless freedom, my liberated spirit truly transcends.
Before the heavy silence shatters into loud demands, a quiet tremor wakes the hollow center of my chest. A sudden pulse unravels underneath my open palms. The quiet air thickens with a heavy wordless weight. This formless intention breathes inside my narrow throat, a hidden sentence in the air waiting to be named. Every quiet heartbeat presses hard against my ribs, while shadows fold into the bright and blinding light. The raw vibration rises from the deep foundation. My fingertips go feverish against the sudden chill. A fragile whisper turns into a rising tide of sound. The quiet skin surrenders to the sudden breathless pull. Primal creation echoes through the wide and open dark, while every hidden thought takes shape within the spinning air. The silent noise of awakened dreams is shaking up the floor, as naked meaning rises from the deep and heavy earth. A sudden wave of warmth is rushing through my open veins. The heavy walls dissolve before the steady pulse of life. Before the definition forms, a sacred truth is here, a sentence hanging softly in the trembling open air. The trembling open air. The sharp and sudden chaos settles into quiet grace, while hidden sparks ignite beneath the cold and heavy stone. A distant echo trembles through the wide and empty room. The quiet air surrenders to a strong and steady pull. This formless intention pulses deep within my living bone, a restless sentence in the air, refusing to be still. My breath dissolves completely as the heavy shadows part, and raw existence opens up the center of my chest. Primal creation echoes through the wide and open dark, while every hidden thought takes shape within the spinning air. The silent noise of waking dreams is shaking up the floor, as naked meaning rises from the deep and heavy earth. A sudden wave of warmth is rushing through my open veins. The heavy walls dissolve before the steady pulse of life. Before the definition forms, a sacred truth is here, a sentence hanging softly in the trembling open air. The quiet boundaries between the quiet, dark and light dissolve, while heavy vibrations tremble through the center of my soul. An unspoken language rises from the bottom of the breath, and shapes the heavy atmosphere into a clear and blinding truth. Primal creation echoes through the wide and open dark, while every hidden thought takes shape within the spinning air. The silent noise of waking dreams is shaking up the rises from the deep and heavy earth. A sudden wave of warmth is rushing through my open veins. The heavy walls dissolve before the steady pulse of life. Before the definition forms, a sacred truth is here. A sentence hanging softly in the trembling open air. The final vibration settles deep into the quiet earth, while every floating sentence fades into the open space. A lasting warmth remains to pulse beneath my quiet skin, as all the rushing noise dissolves into a steady peace. The formless intention rests inside the quiet living breath, while shadows melt completely in the soft and steady dawn.
Heavy pressure in the mind tightens every nerve beneath my skin. Absolute silence roars inside this crowded room where shadows spin. Cold sweat drips down my spine as trembling fingers trace the air. Blind panic meets sudden calm within the center of despair. My chest contracts beneath the weight that pulls me deep down low. Hot blood surges through my veins where icy northern rivers flow. Every breath dissolves the walls that kept my heavy spirit bound. I sink into the black abyss and hit the hollow shifting ground. The outer world is fading fast while inner pulses start to race. I surrender all my fears inside this sacred burning in space. A quiet storm is waking up to break the silence in my chest. I leave the noise and surface life to find my heavy final rest. Darkness gathers round my soul to carve a shape from total night. Heavy shadows intertwine and shift away from blinding morning light. Fingers burn with sudden heat as ancient rhythms start to pound. Every broken fragment falls and vanishes into the trembling ground. Silence speaks a heavy truth that cuts right through the shallow noise. I am listening to the rhythm of my deep, forgotten inner voice. Heavy pressure in the mind dissolves into a vast expanding sea. Darkness holds a secret shade that bends and opens up for me. The steady pounding of the drums sends shivers down my trembling frame. I whisper to the empty dark and lose my modern fragile name. Fierce tension grips my collarbone while breath escapes my parted lips. A sudden wave of warmth moves slowly upward from my fingertips. The heavy fog inside my brain begins to scatter and to clear. A quiet certainty arrives to conquer every lingering deep-seated fear. I stand alone upon the edge of something vast and yet unknown. The seed of a new identity is planted deep within the stone. Darkness gathers round my soul to carve a shape from total night. Heavy shadows intertwine and shift away from blinding morning light. Fingers burn with sudden heat as ancient rhythms start to pound. Every broken fragment falls and vanishes into the trembling ground. Silence speaks a heavy truth that cuts right through the shallow noise. listening to the rhythm of my deep, forgotten inner voice. Heavy pressure in the mind dissolves into a vast expanding sea. Darkness holds a secret shape that bends and opens up for me. Fierce tremors shake my core before the quiet stillness settles in. A brand new architecture rises where the darkest voids begin. Skin tingles with electric fire that moves along my aching spine. The boundaries of flesh and bone begin to blur and intertwine. Darkness gathers round my soul to carve a shape from total night. Heavy shadows intertwine and shift away from blinding morning light. Fingers burn with sudden heat as ancient rhythms start to pound. Every broken fragment falls and vanishes into the trembling ground. Silence speaks a heavy truth that cuts right through the shallow noise. I am listening to the rhythm of my deep, forgotten inner voice. Heavy pressure in the mind dissolves into a vast expanding sea. Darkness holds a secret shape that bends and opens up for me. The heavy rhythm slows its pace and settles deep within my chest. A quiet strength remains to anchor everything that was oppressed. Shadows fold away and leave a clean and open breathing space. I stand transformed and anchored in the sacred resting place. Heavy silence breaks when a single shout cuts through the freezing air.
Your pulse accelerates as every locked door suddenly begins to swing open.
We stood inside the freezing dark while miles apart from every living soul.
Then fingertips grew burning hot the moment our hidden echoes finally collided.
A restless noise surrounds this concrete cage where nobody hears your cry.
Yet deep within the chest, a heavy breath dissolves into a sudden liberation.
We walk through blinding smoke while searching for a spark in empty rooms.
Your voice arrived like sudden lightning striking right across the barren ground.
Can you hear the calling out loud across the vast and empty distance?
Every heartbeat answers back because the hidden walls are tumbling down.
We are caught inside a powerful storm that washes every shadow away.
Our collective spirit rises now to fill the space
Where silence used to live. Answer call is echoing through the marrow of our waking bones today.
We are shouting out into the open sky and breaking every heavy chain.
Feel the rushing blood surge upward asphalt trembles under feet that never thought they could run.
A sudden flash of clarity cuts straight across the confusion in your mind.
We left behind the bitter isolation where the heavy shadows used to breed.
Your skin reacts with sudden shivers as the powerful frequency takes hold.
A distant cry is pulling every wandering spirit back toward the center.
The chest expands with sudden warmth as freezing numbness turns to liquid fire.
We face the blinding blizzard while the freezing wind tried to break us down.
That answered call arrived to heal the fractures deep inside the human bone.
Answer call is echoing through the marrow of our waking bones today.
We are shouting out into the open sky and breaking every heavy chain.
Feel the rushing blood surge upward as the massive drum begins to beat.
We are standing side by side because the ancient call is answer now.
Every single breath unites us in a rhythm that defies the bitter cold.
Hear the voices merging into one unstoppable and blazing wave of fire.
We have broken through the silence of the night and found our way back home.
Listen to the massive collective spirit roaring through the open universe.
No more hiding in the shadows when the rising tide demands your absolute surrender.
Every muscle starts to vibrate as the shared frequency becomes our common language.
Listen closely to the thunder rolling right above the trembling ground we share.
Our voices intertwine to form a fortress that the darkest night can never break.
The calling out loud is settled deep within the fabric of our open hearts.
An answer call remains forever burning like a beacon in the quiet dark.
We stand together in the clearing with our burning spirits fully reconciled.
The final echo lingers softly in the spaces where the silence used to live.
Faces blur in urban haze, a million stories untold. Each stride a whisper, lost in the endless days, brave and bold. This concrete jungle hums a song, a restless pulsing beat, but deep within where I belong, a silence bittersweet, fingertips trace the hollow air, a ghost of what was near, searching for a truth to share. Conquering doubt and fear, the city's pulse, a fever chase. But here I find my ground in this solitary sacred space where solace can be found. The noise outside a roaring tide, I feel it pull me down. But in my core where I can hide, I've built a quiet town. A subtle shift, a gentle breeze cuts through the outward storm, bringing my spirit to its knees, keeping my true self warm. This is the sound of breathing deep when the world begins to fade. Secrets that the shadows keep in this inner serenade. A thousand voices start to cease, the frantic hurried plea, unlocking an internal peace, profoundly wild and free. The crushing weight of distant sigh, dissolving in the night beneath the calm unblinking eye. Bathed in a guiding light, this sacred stillness I embrace, a rhythm I can claim in this profound and silent space, whispering my own name. The fleeting moments rush in the phantom touch of vacant stare from those who walk apart, breathing in this heavy air. It chills my beating heart. I feel the ache, a hollow space where understanding died, lost within this hurried race, with nowhere left to hide. Yet in this void a flicker gleams, a promise held so tight, awakening forgotten dreams, guiding me toward the light. Woo! This is the sound of breathing deep, when the world begins to fade. Secrets that the shadows keep, in this inner serenade. A thousand voices start to cease, the frantic hurried plead, unlocking an internal peace, profoundly wild and free. The crushing weight of distant sigh, dissolving in the night beneath the calm unblinking eye. Bathed in a guiding light, this sacred stillness I embrace. A rhythm I can play in this profound and silent space, whispering my own name, seeking a sign in the concrete maze, a whisper from the soul. Through the disorienting days, to make myself feel whole, my fingers pulse with a quiet fire. My breath begins to blend, fueled by an unyielding desire, until the very end. The distant clamor starts to dim, a fading ghostly sound, reaching beyond the city's brim, unhallowed inner ground. This is the sound of breathing deep, when the world begins to fade. Secrets that the shadows keep, in this inner serenade. A thousand voices start to cease, the frantic hurried beat, unlocking an internal peace, profoundly wild and free. The crushing weight of distant sigh, dissolving in the night beneath the calm unblinking eye. Bathed in a guiding light, this sacred stillness I embrace. A rhythm I can claim in this profound and silent space, whispering my own name, whispering my own name, in this profound and silent space, where peace begins to bloom, beyond the urban bloom. My quiet guiding light, fading into night.
I stand with an absolute quiet before any word was spoken. My skin trembles with the weight of this motionless dark tide. Deep inside my chest, a silent fire pulses very slowly. Heavy silence rests where noise of tomorrow will soon break. I feel my breath expand against hollow walls of evening. No universe behind us, only this endless depth of night. Heat gathers deep in my core as darkness holds me. I am the vessel waiting for first rhythm of creation. Before any will take shape, the silence remains pure and complete. My collarbone grows warm with pulse of deep ancient life. Out of the stillness, slow primal rhythm begins rising. I close my heavy distant echo of restless steps. My throat remains still while deep power grows inside me. Darkness cradles my frame like a gentle mother of all. Skin turns to liquid warmth as heat spreads slowly down. We exist together in gap before first daylight burns. This quiet room holds all beginnings before stars were ever lit. No universe behind us, just endless stillness of this single breath. My heart beats steadily against dark wall of the void. Before any will is born, we rest inside primal shadow deep inside my center. A steady flame burns without sound. The heavy silence stretches across wide, empty golden shore. I breathe dark medicine of this unbroken, motionless space. Every secret spark gathers here before storm of creation wakes. From total empty darkness to first thumping pulse of life. From frozen stillness to burning heat beneath my warm collar. Before any will can move, giant turning wheel of time, I surrender my form to this quiet, sacred depth now. My ribs vibrate softly with weight of unbroken stillness today. Here at absolute root of everything we are, complete whole. The vast empty space expands within my ribs as darkness turns golden. I feel my skin drinking the cold mist of this ancient quiet night. No universe behind our backs, only this infinite ocean of deep calm. Every muscle relaxes into the heavy pulse radiating from my deep center. Before any will emerges into the bright noise of a waking living world. We are the quiet observers, watching all beginnings unfold from pure space. My breath dissolves into the gentle atmosphere that holds all living things. Warm energy flows downward into my roots as quiet, soft earth sleeps. This quiet room holds all beginnings before stars were ever lit. No universe behind us, just endless stillness of this single breath. My heart beats steadily against dark wall of the void. Before any will is born, we rest inside primal shadow deep inside my center. A steady flame burns without sound. The heavy silence stretches across wide, empty golden shore. I breathe dark medicine of this unbroken, motionless space. Every secret spark gathers here before storm of creation wakes. All beginnings gather quietly inside this deep breath I hold close. No universe behind us, only calm foundation of the dark. My heart grows quiet as warm pulse settles deep in blood. Before any will takes flight, we sink into peaceful void. Deep silence remains whole and eternal inside my quiet chest. I rest now in timeless darkness where all life begins. Tearing indoor while the quiet shadows stretch across the room. No rushing body as the pulse settles deep inside my ribs. Silence breaks wide open when the heavy midnight starts to bleed. Every single fiber trembles while the cold floor turns to warmth. motion leaves the chest behind. We walk through the noisy chaos straight into a vast stillness. Fears fall away softly while the blood begins to run clear. The pulse beats steadily beneath the skin without a single sound. We tear and endure the quiet friction of the changing tide. No rushing body as the heavy air turns wonderfully light. Fingers burn slowly while the grounded roots begin to wave. Move like a cure through the quiet chambers of the open heart. Tear and endure every heavy memory that tries to pull me down. No rushing body as the steady drums guide the steady breath. Fingers grow warm against the rising current of the gentle night. Move like a cure while the deep rhythm heals the hidden scar. Tear and endure the fragile moments where the spirit finds its voice. Rushing body as the healing water washes clean the dust. Fingers burn slowly, the quiet fire of a brand new day. Staring at the ceiling while the loud road fades to simple dust. No rushing body as the heavy burden lifts from tired shoulders. Chaos turns to absolute peace when the heavy armor falls away. Every single heartbeat echoes to the silent listening room. Fingers grow warm against the steady rhythm of the floorboards. Breath dissolves gently as the old grief turns into morning light. Walking through the heavy panic straight into the open middle. Fears vanish completely while the pulse maintains its steady pace. Move like a cure through the quiet chambers of the open heart. Tear and endure every heavy memory that tries to pull me down. No rushing body as the steady drums guide the steady breath. Fingers grow warm against the rising current of the gentle night. Move like a cure while the deep rhythm heals the hidden scars. Tear and endure the fragile moments where the spirit finds its voice. Rushing body as the healing water washes clean the dust. Fingers burn slowly with the quiet fire of a brand new day. The quiet pressure softens while the chest expands to catch the air. Tear and endure the sharpest edges of the long forgotten pain. No rushing body as the healing current moves through every vein. Fingers grow warm against the pulse of this quiet morning grace. Every single muscle relaxes while the heavy tension melts to nothing. Breath dissolves softly into the absolute stillness of the room. Move like a cure through the quiet chambers of the open heart. Tear and endure every heavy memory that tries to pull me down. No rushing body as the steady drums guide the steady breath. Fingers grow warm against the rising current of the gentle night. Move like a cure while the deep rhythm heals the hidden scar. Tear and endure the fragile moments where the spirit finds its voice. Rushing body as the healing water washes clean the dust. Fingers burn slowly with the quiet fire of a brand new day. Move like a cure through the quiet room until the night is gone. Tear and endure the gentle healing spreading outward through the arm. No rushing body as the steady pulse becomes the only guiding truth. Fingers grow warm and the heavy weight dissolves into silent air. Breath dissolves softly and the inner calm remains untouched forever. Resting
quiet room shatters when the heavy midnight silence speaks. My tired chest aches as the freezing winter window leaks. We walk through blinding fires just to touch the open air. Now the dusty photographs are gathering lonely silence there. The hollow corridors repeat a heavy step upon the floor. My trembling fingertips remember what we never touched before. A sudden rush of warmth dissolves the bitter frost inside. With no mistakes to justify and nowhere left to hide. The deep vibration shakes the marrow hiding in my bone. A sudden tremor splits the hollow silence in the zone. The burning friction melts the frozen barrier on my skin. The heavy tidal wave of truth is rising up within. The echoes fade into the hollow walls of empty space. My open palm remembers the forgotten curves of grace. No more mistakes can blind the steady burning of the soul. The shattered fragments gather close to make the spirit whole. The heavy shadows stretch across the solitary wooden floor. My rapid pulse is hammering against the heavy prison door. The bitter cold evaporates beneath the sudden rising heat. The pounding rhythm synchronizes with my heavy beating feet. The morning sunlight cuts across the dusty wooden shelf, where memories are waiting to betray my guarded self. We built a fortress out of pride and locked the iron gate. Now shattered expectations leave me begging at the fate. My heavy eyelids flutter as the blinding brightness breaks. A sudden surge of adrenaline corrects the mild mistakes. The cold perimeter dissolves beneath the rising ocean tide. With no illusions left to shield the panic burning wide. The echoes fade into the hollow walls of empty space. My open palm remembers the forgotten curves of grace. No more mistakes can blind the steady burning of the soul. The shattered fragments gather close to make the spirit whole. The heavy shadows stretch across the solitary wooden floor. My rapid pulse is hammering against the heavy prison door. The bitter cold evaporates beneath the sudden rising heat. The pounding rhythm synchronizes with my heavy beating feet. The air grows thin and heavy as the final barrier breaks. My waking mind surrenders to the brilliant dawn it makes. The frantic pounding in my chest begins to slow and ease, while silent revelations travel downward on the evening breeze. The bitter wave yesterday dissolves into the glowing light. A sudden clarity erases every shadow of the night. Countless scattered fragments of our broken history finally align across the wooden floor, while rushing currents wash away the bitter residue that blocked the heavy iron door. Every trembling breath reveals the hidden truth that we refuse to recognize before. As brilliant morning sunlight spills across the quiet boundary of the bedroom door. My weary fingers trace the dusty outline of the memories sitting on the upper shelf. Every racing pulse finally surrenders to a deep and lasting rest. The echoes fade into the hollow walls of empty space. My open space, my open space, my open palm remembers the forgotten curves of grace. No more mistakes can blind the steady burning of the soul. The shattered fragments gather close to make the spirit whole. Oh, the heavy shadows stretch across the solitary wooden floor. My rapid pulses hammering against the heavy prison door. The bitter cold evaporates beneath the sudden rising heat. The pounding rhythm synchronizes with my heavy beating feet. The fading echoes leave behind a vast and open space. My steady breathing settles in a calm and sacred place. The heavy weight has lifted from the center of my chest, and every rushing pulse descends into a quiet, endless rest. The dusty memories remain upon the silent wooden shelf.
The heavy road is always inside the quiet chest right now. Fingertips are burning where the wild noise used to bleed. You walk through blinding sirens into an empty, breathless room. The pulse is dropping slower while the concrete floors recede. A sudden flash of lightning breaks the silence in the bone. Your heavy eyelids tremble as the cold air touches skin. The outer world is shouting with a desperate, jagged breath. The sacred stillness opens up the silent space within. The crowded streets are fading down beneath the rising tide. A sudden current pulls you where the quiet truth resides. Deep quiet claims the center as the beating slows right down. The heavy rush of panic leaves without a single sound. The breathless inner anchor holds the shifting weight of stone. The trembling skin surrenders to the pulse that beats alone. Deep quiet claims the center as the beating slows right down. The heavy rush of panic leaves without a single sound. The breathless inner anchor holds the shifting weight of stone. The trembling skin surrenders to the pulse that beats alone. The sharp metallic edges of the frantic day are dull. Your lungs are pulling deeper through a heavy tidal wave. A sudden spike of terror turns to velvet on the tongue. You step into the shadows of a warm and quiet cave. The pulse is hitting slower like a hammer made of lead. Your vision clears completely from the fog that clouded sight. A heavy weight is lifting from the corners of the skull. The velvet dark is turning to a soft obsidian light. Deep quiet claims the center as the beating slows right down. The heavy rush of panic leaves without a single sound. The breathless inner anchor holds the shifting weight of stone. The trembling skin surrenders to the pulse that beats alone. Deep quiet claims the center as the beating slows right down. The heavy rush of panic leaves without a single sound. The breathless inner anchor holds the shifting weight of stone. The trembling skin surrenders to the pulse that beats alone. The sudden shiver ripples down the column of the spine. The heavy walls of ego crumble right before your eyes. The surface storm has vanished, leaving only solid ground. A quiet understanding where the ancient power lies. The lungs expand and empty in a slow rhythmic design. A burning heat is waking where the deepest silence dries. A thousand screaming voices disappear into the massive ocean below the floor. truth is waking in the heavy silence while the city slept. A sudden wave of clarity is washing over every single nerve and vein. The heavy fog is parting as the sunshine breaks above the driving pouring rain. You finally remember how to breathe without the crushing pressure in the chest. The wandering spirit settles in a permanent and deeply anchored peaceful rest. Deep quiet claims the center as the beating slows right down. The heavy rush of panic leaves without a single sound. The breathless inner anchor holds the shifting weight of stone. The trembling skin surrenders to the pulse that beats alone. Deep quiet claims the center as the beating slows right down. The heavy rush of panic leaves without a single sound. The breathless inner anchor holds the shifting weight of stone. The trembling skin surrenders to the pulse that beats alone. The beating slows down low in the center of the chest. A heavy peace is settling as the final shadows hide. The endless rush is finished and the spirit comes to rest. The quiet truth is breathing in the hidden space inside. A single pulse is echoing across the empty open room.
The dishonest night arrives with a heavy, suffocating weight upon my chest. Yet shadows breathe a hidden promise of life beneath the freezing dirt. I trace the rough contours of a silent and unrelenting cold storm, while a sudden surge of ancient fire begins to claim my weary bones. No empty illusions can comfort the quiet panic of this restless hour. Only the raw and undeniable rhythm pounding underneath my bruised skin. Every heavy breath shatters the glass cage of my paralyzing fear, and the trembling darkness surrenders to the awakening of my soul. The bitter frost outside meets the burning river inside my veins. A quiet rupture breaks the endless silence of the forgotten past. We stand at the sharp edge between total ruin and sudden grace, where every single heartbeat proves that we are finally awake. Feel the truth in veins, cutting through the thick and heavy dark. A sudden explosion of warm life claims every corner of the room. We walk through the crushing pressure of the bitter midnight air, and every heavy stride pushes us closer to the breaking dawn. There is a wild thunderous power waking deep inside the chest, burning away the remnants of a long and suffocating winter freeze. We carry the fire of 1,000 suns within our bruised hands, transforming every hollow shadow into a brilliant flash of gold. The sharp wind howls against the window of my fragile shelter, but my pulse refuses to slow down in the face of the oncoming gale. A sudden clarity cuts right through the tangled web of my doubts, as the fierce rhythm beneath my feet anchors me to the spinning earth. There is no safety in the numbness. I fought so and pure oxygen. Feel the truth in veins, cutting through the thick and heavy dark. A sudden explosion of warm life claims every corner of the room. We walk through the crushing pressure of the bitter midnight air, and every heavy stride pushes us closer to the breaking dawn. There is a wild thunderous power waking deep inside the chest, burning away the remnants of a long and suffocating winter freeze. We carry the fire of 1,000 suns within our bruised hands, transforming every hollow shadow into a brilliant flash of gold. In the quiet space where desperation turns into quiet strength, the heavy armor I wore for years begins to crack and crumble. I inhale the raw electric atmosphere of the unpredictable night, knowing that every single scar tells the story of my survival. The ground trembles beneath the weight of our collective resolve, and the ancient rhythm heals the fractures in our broken hearts. Feel the truth in veins, cutting through the thick and heavy dark. A sudden explosion of warm life claims every corner of the room. We walk through the crushing pressure of the bitter midnight air, and every heavy stride pushes us closer to the breaking dawn. There is a wild thunderous power waking deep inside the chest, burning away the remnants of a long and suffocating winter freeze. Oh, we carry the fire of 1,000 suns within our bruised hands, transforming every hollow shadow into a brilliant flash of gold. The storm passes over, leaving the quiet stillness in the air, yet the rhythm keeps on pulsing deep beneath the solid floor. We carry this newfound power into the unfolding morning light, forever changed by the fire that burned away our deepest fears. The shadows breathe their final secret to the awakening sky, and we step forward into the bright reality of a brand new day.
Forgotten names echo inside the marrow of my bones. A heavy silence shatters beneath the sudden rising tide. My fingertips burn with the weight of unremembered things. The air turns sweet as old memories begin to breathe again. A sudden tremor wakens the dormant stillness in my chest. The heavy anchor slips away from the dark ocean floor. My throat tightens around the stories I swallowed in the dark. The fierce current pulls me past the edges of my own skin. The sudden rush of cold water dissolves into living stories. My ribs expand to welcome the surging tide of who I am. Every lost whisper converges into a single roaring pulse. The boundary between my breath and the river disappears. A flood ground of memories breaks through my fragile ribs. The warm current floods the empty chambers of my heart. Forgotten names rise like dark timber from the riverbed. My pulse beats in rhythm with the ancient drumming soil. Every ancestral way. The sharp noise of the city fades into a quiet hum. My blood runs thick with the iron taste of the earth. Shadows stretch across the floorboards of my waking mind. A sudden spark leaps from the friction of my moving feet. The heavy curtain of yesterday falls away into dust. My lungs open wide to swallow the raw electric air. Every forgotten name calls a new channel in my spine. The rising water claims the spaces where I used to hide. The flood ground of memories breaks through my fragile ribs. The warm current floods the empty chambers of my heart. Forgotten names rise like dark timber from the riverbed. My pulse beats in rhythm with the ancient drum and soil. Every drop of water carries the secret shape of my soul. The rushing tide dissolves my fears into pure motion. I am the riverbank and I am the water rushing past. Nothing remains untouched by this vast ancestral wave. The quiet space inside my chest expands beyond the room. My skin tingles with the fierce electricity of the deep surge. The heavy weight of silence breaks into 1,000 shining fragments. Every heartbeat echoes like a drum calling from the distant shore. I surrender completely to the invisible hands that guide the stream. The past and the future collide inside this single breathless second. Countless forgotten names rise from the dark forgotten depths of the silent water. My trembling fingertips trace the invisible boundaries of a world I never knew. The raging flood ground reclaims every empty space I abandoned along the way. A fierce underground current tears through the rigid architecture of my pride. Every single drop of liquid history dissolves quietly into unbreakable stories. My burning chest expands beyond the narrow borders of my physical skin. The ancient rhythm of the heavy drums vibrates directly through my core. I open my eyes to watch the entire universe flow endlessly through me. A flood ground of memories breaks through my fragile ribs. The warm current floods the empty chambers of my heart. Forgotten names rise like dark timber from the riverbed. My pulse beats in rhythm with the ancient drum and soil. Every drop of water carries the secret shape of my soul. The rushing tide dissolves my fears into pure motion. I am the riverbank and I am the water rushing past. Nothing remains untouched by this vast ancestral wave. The rushing water slows down into a calm and steady pulse. A forgotten name settle like fine silt upon the river bottom. My breathing matches the quiet rhythm of the sleeping earth. The fierce tide recedes and leaves my spirit wide and clear. I am completely rebuilt by the stories that carried me here. Silence shatters deep inside my quiet chest. Heavy shadows lock the door within my soul. As An ember bury every whispered cry. Cold concrete turns into a burning bed. Fingertips are tracing lines of ancient fire. Breath dissolves into the rising heavy smoke. Standing at the threshold of a nameless night, every fear is crumbling down to heavy dust. Pulses racing faster as the walls collapse. Trembling fingers reach toward the sacred gate. Flesh is waking up beneath the rushing heat. Darkness breaks to let the blinding fire through. Flames are tearing through the heavy winter chill. Sparks are cleansing every corner of my mind, burning away fear until the shadows fade. Wild desire rises from the cooling ash, reaching out to touch the sudden open sky, breathing deep. The heavy scent of burning wood, sacred gate is swinging wide for my escape, rising higher through the smoke and dying pain. Stone and silence cage the beating of my heart. Freezing water chills the marrow in my bones. Heavy iron binds the spirit to the floor. Sudden lightness splits the darkness overhead. Skin is burning under waves of golden light. Heavy heartbeat echoes through the silent room. Shattered glass falling on the wooden floor. Reaching through the pain to find an open breath. Flames are tearing through the heavy winter chill. Sparks are cleansing every corner of my mind, burning away fear until the shadows fade. Wild desire rises from the cooling ash, reaching out to touch the sudden open sky, breathing deep. The heavy scent of burning wood, sacred gate is swinging wide for my escape, rising higher through the smoke and dying pain. Silence falls into the heavy beating drum. Sparks are dancing in the center of the room. Fingertips are glowing with a sudden warmth. Shadows scatter when the fire claims the dark. Breathing changes as the heavy chains dissolve. Reaching upward to the threshold of the dawn. Shadows gather tightly round the borders of my quiet room, while ancient echoes whisper through the hollow falling rain. Heavy silence presses down upon my shoulders until the sudden spark of burning timber breaks the spell. Fingertips are trembling against the wooden surface, while the rising heat begins to melt the winter frost. Breathing catches deep inside my aching chest as every heavy shadow dissolves into the brilliant rising flame. Golden embers scatter across the darkened floor, while the rhythmic pulse of distant drums commands the night. Standing bravely at the sacred threshold, where the bitter past is finally burning down to nothingness. Cooling air rushes through the open gate to wash away the bitter remnants of my forgotten sorrow. But sparks are lifting upward toward the ceiling, while my spirit claims the sudden freedom of the dawn. Flames are tearing through the heavy winter chill. Sparks are cleansing every corner of my mind, burning away fear until the shadows fade. Wild desire rises from the cooling ash, reaching out to touch the sudden open sky, breathing deep. The heavy scent of burning wood, sacred gate is swinging wide from my escape, rising higher through the smoke and dying pain. Embers fading softly in the cooling air. Silence settling above the quiet floor. Breathing steady as the final spark dissolves. Peace has settled deep within my quiet soul. Sacred gate hearing thunder rising inside my quiet chest tonight. A sudden heat settles deep in my core as shadows move. My pulse throbbing hard against the cold air around my skin. The deafening stillness carries a secret truth across this open room. Warm blood rushes down to my fingertips with the fierce tremor. In this endless dark I feel a strange illumination take hold. A solitary breath dissolves directly into the heavy collective rhythm now. Every unspoken memory begins to burn softly within my hollow bones. My trembling throat captures the raw pulse of the unspoken dark. This unseen current flows deeply under my skin without any sound. I stand motionless while the invisible wave pulls me completely inward. A gentle fire spreads slowly through my center. With pure intention, this quiet sentence without speaker echoes through the hollow night air. It shapes us all in ways that words could never explain. The heavy weight of tone grounds my feet into the soil. Silence collapses into a sudden roar of pure physical sensation. Tonight my heart pounds against my ribs like an ancient heavy drum. We are bound by the invisible threads of a shared breath. An intense warmth spreads through my chest and awakens my spirit. The truth vibrates within us long after the voices fall silent. The sharp cold of despair melts into a sudden warm release. My lungs expand as the heavy rhythm strikes my lower belly. In this dense crowd I feel completely isolated yet deeply connected. A fierce vibration ripples through my spine and calms my mind. The chaotic noise outside transforms into a single sacred whisper now. My palms grow warm as the steady bassline fills the void. An ancient memory awakens where my breath meets the silent beat. The stillness speaks louder than 1,000 shouting voices around me. This quiet sentence without speaker echoes through the hollow night air. It shapes us all in ways that words could never explain. The heavy weight of tone grounds my feet into the soil. Silence collapses into a sudden roar of pure physical sensation. Tonight my heart pounds against my ribs like an ancient heavy drum. We are bound by the invisible threads of a shared breath. An intense warmth spreads through my chest and awakens my spirit. The truth vibrates within us long after the voices fall silent. The crushing weight transforms into effortless lightness inside my moving body. My skin tingles as the deep groove reverberates through every vein. From absolute isolation, we step together into this overwhelming shared presence. A sudden surge of electricity moves from my feet straight upward. The quiet room explodes with an invisible frequency of pure connection. My chest vibrates with the undeniable truth of this present instant. This quiet sentence, the speaker echoes through the hollow night air. It shapes us all in ways that words could never explain. The heavy weight of tone grounds my feet into the soil. Silence collapses into a sudden roar of pure physical sensation. Tonight my heart pounds against my ribs like an ancient heavy drum. We are bound by the invisible threads of a shared breath. An intense warmth spreads through my chest and awakens my spirit. The truth vibrates within us long after the voices fall silent. The quiet sentence without speaker lingers softly inside my breathing chest. It shapes us all in the deep silence of the night. The weight of tone dissolves into the infinite dark of our shared existence.
Silence presses against the screaming skull tonight. Cold pavement burns into the raw soles of my feet. The heavy weight gathers inside my lower rib cage now. My pulse hammers against the wall of the narrow room. The absolute darkness stretches out a velvet hand. My chest tightens as the forgotten breath returns home. We walk the thin edge between panic and deep peace. The sudden panic melts away beneath the steady drum. Unseen pressure forms a hard crown around my mind. We lean slow into the heavy shadow of the night. The heavy anchors drop deep into the silent floor. Only the rhythmic pulse remains when words depart. Into the dark we step without a map or a name. The cold air sharpens every nerve along my spine. Pressure forms inside the chest until it breaks wide. We lean slow against the momentum of the ground. Unconscious gravity pulls us deeper than before. The silent room expands to swallow every heavy doubt. We move past thought into the pure physical core. The rhythmic heartbeat claims the center of the room. Shattered glass glitters like cold stars on the floor. My open palms sting with the memory of the impact. A sudden clarity cuts through the fog of the hours. The tight knot in my throat finally starts to loosen. We carry heavy shadows hidden behind closed eyes. The floorboards vibrate under the weight of the storm. A sharp gasp escapes the prison of my quiet lungs. The relentless rhythm pulls the poison from my veins. Into the dark we step without a map or a name. The cold air sharpens every nerve along my spine. Pressure forms inside the chest until it breaks wide. We lean slow against the momentum of the ground. Unconscious gravity pulls us deeper than before. The silent room expands to swallow every heavy doubt. We move past thought into the pure physical core. The rhythmic heartbeat claims the center of the room. Fingertips grow, burning hot against the freezing glass. The sudden chaos settles into a steady, heavy swing. We abandon every reason we brought into this place. The blood rushes loud through the tunnels of the east. An ancient instinct answers the call of the floor. We surrender the control we never truly possess. The invisible pressure forms a solid wall right across the narrow corridor of my breathing chest. We lean slow into the absolute darkness while the wooden drums beat a relentless steady rhythm. A sudden flash of lightning shatters the heavy ceiling above us without any warning at all. My open palms burn against the freezing surface of the midnight wall in the empty warehouse. The frantic thoughts scatter like frightened birds, leaving the quiet branches of the ancient tree. Deep vibrations travel upward from the concrete floor, directly into the center of my heavy spine. We leave behind the exhausted stories that we carried through the endless desert of the day. The raw physical pulse takes complete center of the room. The heavy rhythm slows down to a single steady pulse. Darkness closes gently over the remaining sound of breath. We stand still at the absolute center of the storm. The final drum beat echoes out into the empty space. Only the quiet hum of the room remains in the dark.
Shadows wide open as my pulse beats against the floor. Shadows stretch backward while my barefoot steps unlock the core. A cold shiver races up my spine to melt in sudden heat. Quiet rooms dissolve instantly beneath this heavy pounding beat. My breath catches deep inside where every fear begins to blur. Invisible walls crumble down as the quiet spaces start to stir. You call my name across the dark through the open space. My fingertips burn with the fire of your approaching embrace. The pulse awakens deep within my chest, rising higher than all the heavy unexpressed. Spirit rising now from the deep silence of the midnight floor. Collective echo answers back behind the swinging iron door. The collective echo shakes the trembling room, bursting straight through the heavy winter gloom. Spirit rising high while our breathing melts into the air, calling out your name across the open square. My chest aches wide with a sudden wave of blinding light. Your voice cuts straight through the quiet darkness of the night. We answer each other without a single spoken word between, lost inside the deepest rhythm that our eyes have ever seen. Stifling darkness gives way to the sudden blinding morning sun. Two separate souls finally breathing underneath the sky as one. My pulse thumps wildly against the palm of my trembling hand. We leave our heavy footprints deep within the shifting golden sand. An icy chill sweeps across my skin, then turns to burning fire. Every quiet doubt is consumed by this wild ascending desire. You reach across the empty void to catch my falling weight. We throw the heavy bolts right back against the iron gate. The collective echo shakes the trembling moon, bursting straight through the heavy winter gloom. Spirit rising high while our breathing melts into the air, calling out your name across the open square. My chest aches wide with a sudden wave of blinding light. Your voice cuts straight through the quiet darkness of the night. We answer each other without a single spoken word between, lost inside the deepest rhythm that our eyes have ever seen. Heavy silence breaks apart into 1,000 shining glass shards. We drop our shields and lower all our stubborn personal guards. Your breath rushes into my lungs to start the fire anew. Every single drop of my strength flows straight across to you. Deep inside the silent core, where heavy shadows slowly learn to fade away, your powerful echoing call completely shatters the darkness of the grave. My fingertips tingle with the electric current of your returning presence near. Every single trace of hesitation vanishes completely without a single trace of fear. We stand together at the edge of the roaring ocean tide, an unyielding time. Your pulse beats steadily in perfect harmony directly alongside mine. The collective echo reverberates endlessly throughout the vast and open space, locked together in the timeless gravity of this undeniable embrace. The collective echo shakes the trembling room, open square, my chest stakes wide with a sudden wave of blinding light. Your voice cuts straight through the quiet darkness of the night. We answer each other without a single spoken word between, lost inside the deepest rhythm that our eyes have ever seen. The spirit rising higher through the fading light. Collective echoes lingering softly in the quiet of the night. My skin cools down while the heavy heartbeat slowly settles low. Your hand stays resting safely where the warm embers softly glow. We fade together into the final whisper of the silent drum. Before meaning learned, my ribs hold a quiet room of salt. An absence known where every heavy definition falls apart. An undying space breeze inside my collarbone right now. Before any shadow knew the contour of a sweating brow. The noise of the street dissolves beneath this heavy velvet floor, while sudden warmth unlocks a secret unremembered door. My pulse begins to quicken underneath the quiet evening light, and every ancient boundary slowly vanishes out of sight. The crowded room surrenders to a vast and breathless space, while every fleeting memory abandons its familiar place. A sudden tremor ripples down through my open fingertips, with unspoken syllables resting heavy on my parted lips. This raw awakening tears through the quiet of my chest, leaving behind a hunger for a long and heavy rest. An untamed current surges through my veins with burning grace, while every ancient shadow vanishes without a single trace. The silence breaks into a million shards of golden glass, and time forgets to hurry as the heavy moments pass. My naked skin remembers what the waking mind forgets, before the rising sun dissolves the lingering regrets. The sharp cold air outside clashes with the fighter in my core, while distant voices echo softly through a half-closed door. An empty space is waiting where the heavy sorrow pressed. Now pure release is resting softly on my aching chest. My fingertips grow feverish against the sudden rushing chill, while every racing thought stands completely, strangely still. The urban roar is silenced by a distant rhythmic drum, and answers echo softly from a kingdom yet to come. This raw awakening tears through the quiet of my chest, leaving behind a hunger for a long and heavy rest. An untamed current surges through my veins with burning grace, while every ancient shadow vanishes without a single trace. The silence breaks into a million shards of golden glass, and time forgets to hurry as the heavy moments pass. My naked skin remembers what the waking mind forgets, before the rising sun dissolves the lingering regrets. The heavy walls are melting into liquid rings of gold, our stories that were never written finally unfold. A sudden surge of electricity begins to climb above the fragile boundaries of our familiar time. My breathing dissolves completely in the warm and rushing tide, with nowhere left to wander and nowhere left to hide. The quiet stillness shatters as the heavy bassline claims the floor, while ancient rhythms echo deeply from a distant open door. My pulses racing wildly through the center of the spinning room, as brilliant colors blossom from the shadows of the fading gloom. An unfamiliar fever rises sharply from my open fingertips, while silent revelations hover gently on my trembling lips. The urban chaos vanishes beneath the power of this steady beat, and every heavy burden falls away from my bare feet. current surges through my veins with burning grace, while every ancient shadow vanishes without a single trace. The silence breaks into a million shards of golden glass, and time forgets to hurry as the heavy moments pass. My naked skin remembers what the waking mind forgets before the rising sun dissolves the lingering regrets. The final drumbeat echoes softly through the empty space, while absolute stillness settles calmly in this sacred place. A single breath remains suspended in the cooling air, without a single question left to ask or answer there. The pulse subsides completely as the golden light descends.
Heavy air presses against me, floor vibrates with pressure. A sudden blast shatters the quiet room where I stood in isolation. My chest tightens as the cold collapses into heavy rhythmic warmth. Dust of boundaries, fingertips burn with electric certainty. Silence breaks into vibrating sound, pulling me forward. My heartbeat matches the drums pounding through the dark. All barriers melt in the fierce pulse's heat. I stand exposed between yesterday's wreckage and the truth of now. My pulse accelerates as the final boundary dissolves into nothingness. The quiet room expands into an ocean of physical presence. I step across the threshold. My old self ceases to exist. The heavy air turns into a warm current, lifting my chest. The circle lost its line. The room breathes with me. My broken heavy weight from my chest. Beyond the loop of wider space, every pulse belongs. My skin tingles with shock of untamed freedom. Circle lost its line, fractured pieces fall in place. Not broken, healing happens inside the fire. Beyond the loop, open horizon, no walls left. Lungs expand to catch the rush of air through the room. Sharp glare of streetlights cut shadows of my quiet bedroom. Palms warm against framings, heavy rhythm takes over. Drifting between exhaustion and waking life surge. Breathing slows to match the deep bass line thumping. Every muscle tightens as the rhythm demands surrender. Quiet air becomes a thick fog of sound around my neck. Metallic panic turns instantly into absolute release. My eyes fixed on the open space where walls used to stand. The circle lost its line. The room breathes with me. Not broken, heavy weight lifts from my chest. Beyond the loop, a wider space, every pulse belongs. My skin tingles with shock of untamed freedom. Circle lost its line, fractured pieces fall in place. Not broken, healing happens inside the fire. Beyond the loop, open horizon, no walls left. Lungs expand to catch the rush of air through the room. Cold wind howls outside. My core burns with heat. Shadows stretch to touch the floor center. I hold my breath. Last barrier crumbles to dust. My tremble as heavy pulse vibrates through palms. No turning back to repetition's cage. Open expanse welcomes every heartbeat. Silent rhythm. Endless pavement stretches beneath my feet as city lights blur into streaks of amber. Deep sub-bass rattles through the concrete foundation, shaking every anchor I ever trusted. My stride matches the unrelenting kick drum driving forward through the midnight haze. Every breath tastes of ozone and distant thunder rolling across the southern sky. Unseen currents pull my thoughts away from the persistent noise of hesitation. Vibrant echoes bounce off brick facades, transforming the alley into a grand cathedral of sound. My pulse beats a steady rhythm against the quiet panic rising in my throat. I release the lies remaining anchors that held me to the stagnant past. The open expanse swallows up the final trace of doubt lingering in my mind. We walk together into the vast current where the heavy rhythm never dies. The circle lost its line. The room breathes with me. Not broken, heavy weight lifts from my chest. Beyond the loop of wider space, every pulse belongs. My skin tingles with shock of untamed freedom. Circle lost its line. Fractured pieces fall in place. Not broken, healing happens inside the fire. Beyond the loop, open horizon. No walls left, lungs expand to catch the rush of air through the room. Heavy rhythm slows to a heartbeat in empty space. My chest light opens, echoes fade into dark walls. We cross the line, left a narrow loop behind in dust. There remains more, still as last drum, resonance dies. Only my deep breathing remains in the wide open room. Heavy silence crushes the roaring noise inside my chest. Fingertips burn against the cold and fragile boundary line.
Deep solitude shatters into sudden blinding clarity. Breathing melts as ancient walls begin to fall apart.
We carry heavy shadows through the crushing city storms.
Then fragile moonlight breaks the surface of the silent lake.
Every heartbeat trembles with a fierce and sudden grace.
We stand suspended where the open earth and ocean meet.
Unseen currents pull us underneath the surface tide. A sudden tremor wakes the sleeping core inside. We surrender softly to the pulse of hidden grace, finding fire burning in this sacred empty space. Listen to the whisper only I can hear, cutting through the static and the ancient fear. Truth unveiled is burning in the open air, rising high above the pain we used to bear. Beyond the name we lose the quiet gravity, spreading out our wings into the open sea. Every single pulse is speaking loud and clear. This is all we wanted and it's finally here.
Bitter winter winds collide with sudden summer heat. Shivering skin awakens to the rhythm of the floor.
Boundless darkness opens up to clear and velvet skies. Fingertips trace the borders of a brand new dawn.
We trade the hollow echoes for a permanent release.
Tears of relief are drying on a feverish cheek.
The heavy burden
faded ground. Listen to the whisper only I can hear, cutting through the static and the ancient fear. Truth unveiled is burning in the open air, rising high above the pain we used to bear. Beyond the name we lose the quiet gravity, spreading out our wings into the open sea. Every single pulse is speaking loud and clear. This is all we wanted and it's finally here. No longer hiding behind the masks we wore for years.
We drop the armor and we face the falling rain.
A single breath dissolves the wall between our beating hearts.
We step across the threshold where the endless morning starts.
Trembling fingers reach across the chasm of forgotten years, while rushing rivers carve the canyon deep below.
Shattered fragments gather underneath a brilliant surface light to form a blazing constellation in the dark.
Every breath is heavier than iron, yet lighter than a feather, floating softly on the summer wind.
We surrender every sorrow to the cleansing power of the ancient rhythm moving through our veins.
Silent whispers echo loudly through the chambers of a heart that finally remembers how to love again.
Burning embers dance upon the surface of the water, while the freezing night surrenders to the dawn.
We are standing on the edge of something permanent and true that stretches out beyond the horizon line.
Every single heartbeat matches with the timeless rhythm of the universe, expanding in the dark.
Listen to the whisper only I can hear, cutting through the static and the ancient fear. Truth unveiled is burning in the open air, rising high above the pain we used to bear. Beyond the name we lose the quiet gravity, spreading out our wings into the open sea. Every single pulse is speaking loud and clear. This is all we wanted and it's finally here.
The final echo fades into the velvet quiet night.
Truth unveiled remains
When every shadow disappears,
we hold the whisper
close inside the center of our soul.